Welcome to another edition of KZAR Spotlight of the Month. I'm KZAR Coleman, and today we have along with us a special returning guest, Miss Casting Director herself, Miss Simone Walker, and actress Simone Walker. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Actress, you're a casting director.
Yeah.
You can go through all the other tags.
Yes, there are.
Casting director, casting agent, voiceover artist, trainer. Yeah, the whole gamut of all things acting.
Awesome. All right, so today what we would like to do is, in this particular segment, we want to do a snapshot, if it will be, of the various episodes, the many episodes we had in season one. We like to try to pull out. We've taken the time to pull out little snippets of what we would call very, very critical moments or crucial moments of opportunity to really get some information out there in each episode. So it's not the entire episode, but it would probably be like at least 2 minutes from each episode of areas, like I said, that we found to be crucial points in that episode. So I hope you sit back, enjoy yourself, learn something, drop us a little message afterwards. Let us know what how you felt about it. If you agree with it, disagree with it. Hey, we all here learning. We are seasoned professionals, but you know, it's in this industry. It's always about learning, growing, perfecting our craft, and sharing with you, the viewing audience. So let's listen on some of these episodes, beginning with. I like since we have Miss Simone Walker here. I'm going to come back to her, but I want to first go and touch on the episode we call the Kingdom Men's episode, and that's with Bishop Wall and recording artists, or soul recording artists, soul rap artist, excuse me, Mr. Tone Butter. Take a listen.
People going through so many trials and tribulations. Mm-hmm. And these same trials and tribulations are some of the trials and tribulations that I've gone through. And one thing I found, you can't minister to anybody if you haven't gone through what they're going through.
Real business.
And what God will do, he'll put you in an atmosphere.
Correct.
The atmosphere that he puts you in, you have nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. He has given you a hand, and it's what you do with the hand that makes the difference.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Some people are given a bad hand, and the first thing they do is look at it, man, ain't no way I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Right.
And they throw it away. But some people are daredevils. And
yep.
He got me daredevil.
I'm gonna try this thing.
And it's like, I'm looking at this hand, I ain't gonna win, but what the heck? I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyhow. You know, I'll just play the hand out. And when you take one card and add it to it, then, well, let's look a little, well, give me another card and another card. And the same hand that you looked at and said you'll never win, God will turn it around just because you played it and make you win. Mm-hmm. And where I came from, there's a lot of losers. And the reason why they lost is because the mind frame that they had. The reason why they lost is the mind frame that they had.
Yes.
I'm used to putting this mic up when I'm singing.
No, but we want to hear everything you got to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything
It's the mind frame that they have.
Yeah.
And what God will do is put you in a place where there was no way for you to win, bring you out, then send you back into the same place that you thought you would not be able to get out of. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like even in the Bible, when you look at Moses.
Pretty much a little snippet of that particular segment. Listening to that, what do you think about what was said, Simone? I know you come from you're a preacher's kid, right?
I am. I'm a PK.
Putting you on the spot. How can you speak to this?
I do believe God puts you in a position to learn and grow from experiences. And there's always a purpose in your experiences. So if he's taken you out of something, there's a reason. If he's put you back in it, there's another reason. And maybe you didn't get the message the first time. So to stay focused on what, what God puts in front of us. Yeah, some of us are daredevils.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they want to try.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to tag in with that. In that segment, I remember it vividly. And right now, just going back over it again, just puts me in the mind of people. And people, they say, a Christian or person of faith, they pray every day, and they communicate with God, because you're supposed to have Him, for having faith is like a self thing. Your grandma can't be saved and you be saved, and you can't get through the gates through her being saved, because we all got to stand for our own faith. And so walking around being positive and staying close in communication, prayer, and so on, put you in that positive mindset where when you do see things, when you do run into things, you think of it and you handle it in a different way. Now, we're all not perfect. And sometimes, oh man, you're going to make me, my BC days. And I don't mean, that BC before Christ days, you want to come out and you want to get at it just like, into what's going on now. When I looked at that video of the young man that the police officer was kneeling on, I was outraged. I was mad. And then I was like, what is really going on? And then when I saw more footage and saw what was actually going on, I was like, wow. And then I heard another video, same video, and I heard the guy taunting him while he had his knee in his neck. And the other person that was skilled in there said, look, you're going to kill the man. He's already has handcuffs on. So, he's no threat. But you continued, and then the other officers actually blocked him. So in that mindset, that really speaks a lot, because the young man said, because he trained with the police officer, he said he could have threw hands on him, but in the end, they're the ones with the guns. So they shot me. I would have been in trouble, or I would have been dead, because, I was wrong, because that's the police officer, which puts me in another mindset that people who are in offices or who are in those kind of positions, they are supposed to have a certain kind of dedication. When I was in the military, I knew what I signed up for. And if I had to ship off in 2 hours and be in another country to fight for our freedom, I did that. I came back to the States, and I'm looking at things and see the way they do people. It just baffles me. And so I had yet a feeling of going out, gathering my guns and going to fight, since that's the only time y'all want to hear. And then I had that other part of me, let go and let God, so I'm kind of mixed up with that whole thing there.
It was hard to swallow that. I used to be law enforcement myself, and one of the reasons I got out of it was because of officers like that I was responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough feeling. And one of the things I know is that those other officers are responsible to protect the citizens as well, even when they see that one of their own are stepping out of the boundaries.
Yes. Whatever, how it relates to what Bishop Walls was saying was being in that positive spirit and in communication, which is helpful, being in communication with God. He often just changes it right there before your eyes. He can take a negative situation and make it positive. But if you go into that with the negative, oh, I'm not going to win, I can't do it, this is not going to happen, then that's when you get the results, because you kind of speak it right there. And that's pretty much what he was saying. He's got a bad hand, But guess what? He's going to play it anyway. Some people will play it because they're daredevils. Some people will play it because they have faith. Some people play it because they got both of those, and they're just going to go ahead and just ride it on out. And those are the results.
Mhm.
So those were some very, very, very inspirational words and nuggets of information on how God brings us through. He takes us through the valleys, but he also makes sure there's a ram in the bush. There's an opportunity. There's an answer at the end of all those trials for that current situation that we're going through, especially as we look at situations that we're dealing with right now with the COVID-19 and Mr. Floyd's death and rioting around the country as it will be. It's dark times, and we really need the light. We need to know that we have hope in the middle of all these situations, and that we can keep our faith firm and our dependence on the peaceful solutions to these situations, justice, and just depend on one another to stand in there and stand in the gap to see justice and solutions come out that we hopefully will be able to learn from and grow. So I'd like to introduce this particular segment, which is going to be a special panel guest of cast members from a feature film, Ruby, award-winning feature film, Ruby. You can listen to. We were dealing with how to prepare for complicated situations, complicated scenes that the two actors, they don't really know one another, how they come together and make it work out for them. And we had a chuckle at some of the things that was going on. So let me just share that with you right now.
And I'll be honest, we did a couple takes.
Johnny was afraid.
Yeah. So, Johnny was afraid. Yeah.
That's all I can. That's all that's engraved in my mind. We're not gonna say what you're afraid of. They'll say it when they watch the movie.
Johnny is the opposite of my personality, which where everybody's saying, we're actors, so a lot of times the roles you play are going to be the opposite of who you are. Because
it's like a little tiny percentage that is true. We may have it suppressed.
Right.
And it just hasn't surfaced.
Pull it out your back pocket.
You knew how to bring it out.
I do.
And Jahari knew how to bring it out too. There was a certain.
If she wasn't willing to allow it, it wouldn't have happened, right?
Wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
She had to give you permission.
Amen. And I asked, can you do that? so me and Daryl shared the same. We like to talk to who we're going to do
That's
a scene
important.
with. Just to
You
get
have
it.
to.
You have to.
It's a dance. It's either a slow dance, a fast dance, but you have to do it together. And if there's no harmony, then it looks like two blind people trying to teach each other how to dance or to move to the right, and you really don't know which direction you're going. So when I found out that LaVon, first time, was that your first movie?
No, I've been in movies before, but a first scene.
That kind of scene.
That kind of scene.
Oh, that little, okay. So I was his first.
Cherry pop.
Whoa, okay now.
But it was interesting how I was, talk to me. He said a few words, I said a few words. I said, well, what would you normally do if you were on a date? And he was like,
It wasn't that.
Oh, no. I was like, come on. He was just nervous, and it was fine, and it just felt like I was on a blind date. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm a little too aggressive. Let me relax, and maybe he'll relax. And then when we just started talking and then smiling, the next thing I said, go for it. Just go for it. And he was like,
I started to show him how to do it, but
like this.
Well, it was.
Oh boy.
All right, so that was a little snippet where we were talking about this Ruby was the lead actress in this film. She was she was dealing with different relationships, trying to establish herself and see what she wanted, what she was looking for. Keith played the daddy. He had his own issues. He's been a daddy in a lot of movies.
Right.
So Ruby was on a date, a picnic rather, with Johnny, and he was trying, and his mom was all in his face and all. So he was trying. He was a little shy, but then there was a moment where he walked her to his car, right, and I wanted him to be frisky with her, right, which he was a little uncomfortable with. He wasn't sure of where his boundaries lied, and he needed to. She was fine. She was okay with it. But he was. I'm not gonna. I know he's gonna see this show. I'm not gonna say too much about it. But honest still, so you get those seeds. That's a little uncomfortable. So what advice would you give on how to approach that as an actor?
I was in the play. As a matter of fact, it was Blue Corner Bandstand. And my boyfriend in the play was petrified to kiss me at the end of the play. It wasn't deep. It was just a, yes, we made it, kiss, let's go on.
So no tongue.
No. But we were, you bad, Keith. No, he was petrified because I guess he's never kissed someone. I've never kissed anyone on set at that point either, and haven't since. But he was so petrified, and the director's like, "Come on, man, just grab her, kiss her," and I'm like, and there's a technique. He wasn't taught techniques on where you kiss somebody to make it look like you really, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful, and all that kind of stuff. But he was petrified. But he had to be shown how to kiss me. And I felt so sorry. I felt bad for him. I'm like, wow.
Let me tell you something happened. I was in this one film, and I was supposed to be I was one of the potential victims, a person that was supposed to be killed by this individual that I was supposed to be making out with. And she was much younger than I am.
Oh.
So we were going in the prod, we were doing what we were supposed to be doing, and they're supposed to kiss, and I was like, okay, I know she's uncomfortable, and I'm pretty uncomfortable myself, but so we'll do the lip closed side to side face thing, head they move it. So that worked out well for the moment until we finished, and we had to cut and start it again because I noticed the makeup artist had put too much dark stuff on my mustache. It rubbed all over.
All
So you gave her the mustache.
over. Right.
We rubbed off on her. So,
oh my gosh, that's funny.
she was the opposite of she wasn't an African American. So yeah, it really showed that. So,
oh wow.
Oh wow.
You get those situations. They're funny, but you got to work.
In my experience, and I've been doing it for a while, and I caught on really well as far as it's about communication. And so you ask the actress, what are there any what this is what I see this scene, and this is what, are you comfortable with that, and go from there, and it's worked because during that time I just don't jump right to it. I start off making them feel comfortable. In fact, about it, I was doing one film one film project we were working on, and this person was younger, and I was a deacon. I was a deacon, and so I was already, in that sense, I guess, and my role was I was creeping, whatever. And the thing about it is that young lady's mother came in. When her mother came in, she was totally uncomfortable. I had to pull her to the side and tell her, hey, you can talk to your mom, this and this and this and that. But as far as this, we are actor. Now I'm an actor. You're an actress. I said, after that, that's it. There's nothing going on. So, whether you need to call ask your mom to step in and wait in the car or whatever, that's it. That's it. That's all that's going on. This is a scene. This is professional. Oh, okay. I understand, And so it's about that communication, okay, yeah, I may be looking like I'm falling in love with you, and I might be snuggled up with you, and we were smacking here or there, and I curved my way a certain way to make it look like we really into it. But at the end, I'm that's it. That's it. I'm a happily married man, and this is my job.
You have some convincing looking scenes, I gotta say.
Thank you. It's due to my professionalism.
That's right.
Oh boy. Okay. Boss Women Making Power Moves. That's an awesome title by itself. Miss Margaret P. Bean. She brought her support folks on the show to talk about their upcoming or their previous conference that was going on to empower, to uplift, and to inspire like-minded women to come together and to be accountable to one another and to learn various educational tips and life tips to help them get to where it is they're going to. So let's take a listen in a couple of things that they had to say.
For you, inspire you, and really be about what I say I'm about. Right.
Now I have a question.
Yes.
What would you identify yourself, if I'm just meeting you, what would you identify with yourself as being, and what, as far as what you do, that I can, and we have like 2 seconds.
Identify myself and what I can.
2 seconds for me to remember what you just told me.
2 seconds? Yeah. I'm Margaret, I'm cool, and because by the time I tell you I'm a multi-published author, playwright, director, I love motivational speaking, that's too much.
No, that's fine.
I'm just Margaret on a good day, that's all I ever say.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I would say I'm JJ Hill. That's my writer's name.
Okay.
But I'm a writer too, actor, director, anything. I'm an avid learner.
Okay.
So cool. I think those are the things that I would say about myself.
Okay.
Hi, I would tell you that I'm Social B and that I am a helper.
Cool.
And in being help, I just want to tell you that I'm seasoned at this age of 60.
I wouldn't use that.
No?
I wouldn't use that.
Season?
The age is
okay.
it's a special place to be.
Okay.
Because you went through some things that has brought you to a certain place.
Okay.
Because some people can take that and they can be, because they're like, well, I'm too old to do certain things.
They need to embrace who they are.
Correct, but they don't get it. So,
okay.
You're special. So.
Okay.
And I'm not taking it from that. I'm just saying some people just not that. I did that for a reason. So when you had these ladies being introduced and all that, I'm so and so, blah, blah, blah. There's something unique you need to identify.
Okay.
Yours was, I'm a multi-published. Right. Yours is Associate Butterfly, actor, director. Get some awards if you haven't gotten the awards. If you have gotten awards, identify yourself as an award-winning.
Okay.
Right? People introduce, if we had like a group of filmmakers, and they all say, I'm filmmaker so-and-so, I'm a multi-award-winning filmmaker, independent filmmaker, and television producer, Taylor. It sets you apart. It's memorable.
Okay.
Just little nuggets. I've learned some things too.
Okay. Well, let me do that again. I'm Margaret Bean.
That's right.
Well, let me do that again. I gotta keep on talking.
Award-winning. Okay, I'm an award-winning black young artist. How about that?
And that's fine.
Okay.
But I'm serious. Okay. Someone did that. A young lady that she teaches multi-million-dollar millionaires.
Okay.
She did that, and I didn't get it at first, because we all said what we represented, and it was cool, but it was nothing that stood out. This stands out.
Okay.
You can have a room full of publishers.
Okay.
But they haven't distinguished themselves as a multi-published.
Okay.
Or Right?
Okay.
So
Yes, got it.
use that. And a lot of folks won't use it because they feel, oh, I'm bragging. Yeah, you gotta let yourself be known.
Okay.
And let them say it also. But as you say it enough, they'll start introduce you that way.
Okay.
What was happening was they were preparing for a conference, a women's conference, ladies conference, trying to empower the women to want to be boss women, to become entrepreneurs. And she was planning on doing like an introduction where they would do business cards and that kind of thing. And I wasn't saying business cards was a bad thing, but a lot of people put business cards in a dish or in a dashboard somewhere that I could ever find again. Right. And I was telling her, if you had like a few seconds, a few minutes to introduce yourself, this is a solution. This is the way you can do it. And, it's multiple ways, but overall, that whole episode was really to kind of empower women to say, hey, you can step out and do this or do that if you want to, but you have to position yourself a certain way. So, any thoughts on that little tip I tried to give them?
It should work. I call it the elevator speech.
Yeah, the elevator pitch. Yep.
Yeah.
You have one elevator ride to let somebody know exactly who you are.
Exactly. Pop, pop, pop.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. All right, so this next segment, this was kind of like a part two, a two-part series where we dealt with me being a filmmaker, producer, actor. We dealt with a deep dive with many of DMV's elite or upcoming filmmakers, producers, stage play directors, entertainers. And we wanted to come together and see how we could better educate the audience, how to better educate one another, rather, on perfecting what it is that we do as our passion for telling stories. We wanted to see how we could come together as a collective body to make something great happen in our area. So let's take a listen and hear what we had to talk about.
Us to be propelled to the top here, like Atlanta,
Crabs in the
LA.
barrel. Get out the barrel.
Right, exactly. But what is it going to take, Sherry?
Definitely, because I dealt with this in the past, when you have newcomer actors who think they know something better than you. And I'm just like, please check your ego, because we all try and get to the next level together.
Correct.
If you can't be a team player and you keep leashing on the other teams, you're selling yourself short.
Correct.
And I have seen, not just here in the DMV, because I'm going to say all over, from New York to LA to Atlanta, put your ego aside.
Yep.
If you put your ego aside, and you got 5 good brains who can write, who can produce, who can act, put all that together. You make one good product.
Unified.
One of my mentors told me, he said, you'd rather put out one good product than 4 projects that's horrible that whole year.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let me just say, if your specialty, if you're known for having the best quality as far as audio, then you bring the audio. Right? Whatever it is, what people know you of, that's your contribution, and be okay with that. Yeah. Right? Y'all gonna, agreement, have agreement. Because when you put it out there, somebody gonna get paid, and you want to make sure that it's in black and white.
Right.
But
and that's another thing he said. He said the right thing. Is in being that I've been in Atlanta and worked with the people in Atlanta. It's a lot of that collaboration where they do put their stuff to the side, and it's kind of being from here. It's different because it's the ego is really different, and then you also want to make sure that everybody agrees on the script.
Because I keep on saying, look from the other side in, because I'm new to this. Integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, so like he said, a couple film, we had competition with another native from DC named Gil Nelson out in Vegas. They put us together on a war show, and I said, no, we're not gonna do this.
Correct.
We together.
Yep.
We're gonna support each other. But I think it's integrity, because at the end of the day, what we say here, and then when we leave here, we say something different.
I'm going to go on the record. I'm willing to collaborate with anybody willing to collaborate with me.
So am I.
All right.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times, number one, new actors, even from my own experiences, just the sheer ignorance of the industry itself. So a lot of patience has to come in understanding that a lot of new actors who want to get into this they don't get into training. They want to they skip the training and go right into it because of the not just not knowing, trying to learn the industry. And one question I ask in my training sessions is, what kind of actor do you want to be? Or is this just something you want to do off, just a hobby? Or is this something you're looking for more of a career goal? So that helps me understand exactly how far they want to go and what roles they want to participate in, or how dedicated they are in learning their craft and studying their lines and continual training in that process. So yes, getting to know who you want to be and how deep you want to go into this is first the start, because most actors are not asked that question when they want to get into it. So I know I wasn't, and I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't understand the timing and all that kind of stuff. But it took years of experience to put that under my belt and to know, because no one pulled me aside and said, hey, come into this workshop, come into this class. I did a lot of my over time, my own research. So I think on one half it's mm-hmm.
I don't mean to cut you. I'm trying to. You go ahead and finish, and then I'll come back here.
No, go ahead. I was done.
So that was an interesting moment. It was almost a moment of calling some individuals out, because folks always say, "Oh yeah, I want to work together. We're gonna do this. We got to make DMV the greatest." So, all right, fine. How can we do that?
Right.
Some of them stepped up, and some of them didn't. Some of them stepped up afterwards, but never really followed through. And then others, like working on Zeke, we're collaborating with some of the folks that I don't normally work with. So, utilize those skill sets. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like when she said, you leave your attitude and all that to the wind, because this industry is so large. Some people who don't want to share because they think they're better they feel they're better than you, or you're not worthy of their time and all that kind of stuff. They're going to run into somebody who they need, and because of their attitude, they're not going to get it. I think that it's too large to have attitudes of I'm too great, because there's so much we all can work on together. So much we all can work on together.
Yep. So, this particular episode, we had a couple of one returning guests, Mr. LaVille Long. We had an opportunity, when we were dealing with the deep dive discussion. He was young to the industry, but he had some insight and wisdom. And with the panel of the large panel of filmmakers, it was tough to give everyone an opportunity to express many of the ideas that he had because of the time allowed it. So I brought him back, him and his associate back on, to talk about what it is that they do, what it is that they planning to do, where they came from, and where they're planning on going. And they had remarkable stories, remarkable victorious opportunities and lessons learned. And I felt that it was something crucial for you all to learn from, as well as myself. So let's just take a look at a little snippet of where that came from.
Me and him, both writers, we both want to make it in this writing world, in this entertainment world, or whatever world we trying to get in. We gotta come together with other people like that and keep going. And whoever tell us no, that's yes to us.
So a young lady walked over me, and I'm sitting over there, and they know that we're just started writing. You need to meet Mr. Kazar. He's right there. And I'm like, you already look like you're famous. I'm like, he like your name. She said,
don't you leave here without meeting him. I said, that's all you got to say. I said, what's up? I said, introduce us. She walked me over there, and I said, man, I was so, when I left, I was like, oh, because you one of the first guys I met where somebody ran up to me and say, hey, you need to know that guy right there. And now I'm sitting here on a show with you. I'm like, and it, you know.
I remember talking about the years before when you were planning. You were talking about DC creating all.
Yeah. And I come, and now I'm sitting here, and the projects that came through. Because even, I think a lot of people got to understand it, you already won once you get the project completed. You know, even if you don't sell no seats, if it goes in that venue, you have already won. You know what I'm saying? That's just a blessing by itself, you know? So when my manager called and said, hey, y'all got, I'm there. I
appreciate that.
I'll tell her the story. So I tell everybody the story. I just told the story about 15 times. So, you know.
Casting, I'm an actress, director, acting coach, voiceover. I have my hands in a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
I also lead character for, lead role for the movie that Night Before Day with Rita.
Awesome. Next we have Fahim.
Yes, I'm Fahim Abdul Salam, and thank you for having me here. I am just a very fortunate actor here in the DMV with film credits, with Second Chance and Second Chance Redemption, as well as I play the husband of the lead role for Night Before Day, and I'm also a stage actor as well.
Awesome. So
that girl talented, multi-talented.
Both of them appeared on the show. Well, Keith, you was already on the show, but also that particular episode, which was the finale episode, episode 12. You were there representing the film that you were playing, and you were lead actress. You were playing as the father. So actually, you two can kind of talk about a little bit of where you are with that and what you're going into now. You can.
Yes, the movie is called Night Before Day, and I am portraying as a lead actor for this film. It is a true story about Rita A. Wallace Posey and her journey after learning that her husband was diagnosed with cancer, and how she dealt with it with her family. And it goes back into her love story on how they met, and it's a real bittersweet story, but it is a true story, and I'm just so honored and was so very honored to get the call to even play the lead role in this. And we've had a phenomenal time in doing it. We are in post-production, and we're preparing for the premiere. So we've been locked down for a little bit, but we will not be knocked out. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Father. Keith, you play Daddy.
Yes. Well, they say there's no small parts in the movie, but I was actually, I had the opportunity to play in the movie as well, and I played Rita's father. And so there's a flashback scene that's very important to the film. Flashback scene of me actually meeting her. I guess, I don't know for sure, her future husband.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good, and it was great to work with the staff and R.L. Lawrence, and we worked before, and knowing that Simone was part of it, it just made it even better.
Yeah, it's always good working with the Keith.
So, in this segment, we had an opportunity to really dive into some of the information that was provided through the various segments. We had an opportunity to laugh, to enjoy one another. I thoroughly enjoyed Simone Walker and W.Q. Scott, and just watching, reviewing some of those special moments. And I look forward to season 2, which we hope will be just as entertaining and inspirational and educational as season 1 was, with a brand new group of folks. We have award-winning filmmaker, film producer, Mr. Anthony Commodore, and Terrell, his partner. We have comedian E Boogie is planning on coming on. We have a host of folks that we know you're going to enjoy. I would like to get together and do like a deep dive discussion with the minds, some of the great minds of the comedians. See where it is, how it is that they come up with the content that they come up with, because I'm sure there's a lot more deeper thoughts and probably some pains associated to what they do. And they learn to make the best of it and smile and make us laugh.
My advice to actors who are struggling with monologues or scenes and stuff like that is to continue to study your craft. Understand what kind of actor you want to be. That's the first step, because acting is a very wide field. There's comedic, there's dramatic, there's improv, so they're understanding who you are. You can look at TV and they just say, I want to act. But there's a difference in film and there's a difference in theater. So understanding exactly what kind of actor you want to be, and if you're not even unsure about that, find the monologue that that attracts to you and practice that. But don't just get stuck on that monologue, because that will be robotic in you. You already know that. Study the craft, do your homework, find a training session that you can get into for new actors to get to know all of those intricate beginning details, how a proper headshot, resume, pictures that you don't want to send. Lord, I've seen some pictures. Like, no, don't send that out. That would be my advice, and prepare to understand what the industry is about and how to protect yourself, or even your children that you're putting in there. That's a big thing for me.
So what overall arching thought process on the first season was mission accomplished. We wanted to have a medium out there that we can be able to reach people, to have people understand the industry in the local area and abroad, and to connect people and join people together, so that hopefully we'll come together and do many more projects. It educated those who are experienced, it educated those who weren't experienced, and it gave them a platform or a starting point. We have professional people like Simone here. She was able to be on the show at least twice, and she gave us a bunch of information as well as others. And I just think that was a positive thing. So I think I believe that in season 2, we're just going to step up our game and do even more, because there's still a lot out here for our audiences to gravitate to. You can reach me on as far as connecting with the ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month show. You can also just Google W. Keith Scott. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I don't know, I might be missing something else, but I'm there. Just connect with me, and if you ever have any questions or you want to get connected with ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month, just hit him or I up and give us a talk, and we'll see how we can plug you in.
So anyhow, once again, this is Kazar Coleman. I'd like to thank our guests, Ms. Simone Walker, once again. I'd like to thank my co-host, Mr. W. Keith Scott. And I'd like to thank you, our viewing audience, because without you, we wouldn't have a show. So I want to thank you for taking your time to watch us, to listen to us, to laugh with us, to even cry if some of the things brought you to tears. So stay around with us as we spotlight another group of entertainers in the DMV as we bring in season 2 in July. So thanks again, and this is Kazar Coleman out.